Welcome back, dear viewers, and now we have our first guest. So emotional attachment is a part of a naturality, being human too. We all seek connection, comfort, and love. But sometimes, dear viewers, the way we attach to others can affect our relationships, our confidence, and even our happiness. From secure and healthy bonds to anxious or avoidant patterns, understanding our attachment style can help us grow emotionally and build stronger, more balanced connections. Dear viewers, today we have psychologist Ahmad Albannay joining us to explain the different types of attachment, how they develop, and mostly important, how we can break free from unhealthy patterns. So dear viewers, let's all welcome psychologist Ahmad Albannay. Ahmed, it's a pleasure to have you here on Good Morning.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for being here. So we're going to be talking about about attachment, and especially in psychology. So would you please explain to us?
Of course, I've learned about attachment when I was in the U.S. I've graduated from University of Colorado Boulder with a bachelor degree of psychology. Attachment. When we talk about attachment, this definition was, let's say, created by John Bowley, who is a psychologist as well, in the 60s and the 50s, and then later on by Mary Ainsworth. It got developed in a laboratory field. When we talk about attachment, we usually mean it's the biological, embedded, and emotionally charged bond between the caregivers and the child or the toddler.
All right.
So it's mostly about created usually like in the young age.
All right. So, Dr. Ahmad Albannay, when you say attachment, is it like you mentioned something about biological inheritance, or is it taught through childhood and something has to go in your childhood and carried on all the way till adulthood?
It's a great question. It's actually both. New studies suggest that even our genes plays a role when it comes to attachment. It's mostly plays a role when people are pre-verbal phase in their life, which when we're talking about toddlers and infants. So they age from like below 1 to 2.
All right, so if I have an attachment to the ocean, is it because I inherited from my genes?
Could be, you know, we're Kuwaitis. When we talk about attachment, when we say like it's mostly pre-verbal. So there's a model called the attachment model.
Okay.
It's what's constructed by, let's say, an infant was in a room. The caregiver, which is usually the mother, would put the infants and a stranger. This is why it's called a strange situation task. A stranger would be in the room, and the mother or caregiver would leave. And based on the reaction of that child, we see it's either secure, avoidance, or anxious, or disorganized, which combines both anxious and avoidance.
All right, and Albannay, has many people approached you here in Kuwait that have many kinds of related attachment problems or issues?
To be honest, most people who approach me is regarding something with attachment, especially when it comes to people having issues with their relationships, either with their parents or even their partner. And many people go deep into depression, anxiety, and they don't know it's all based on their attachment. I think we all heard people who say like, this person does not love me, or I'm good alone, I don't need anyone, I don't need a reassurance. When we think about it and read about the attachment, we would know it's an attachment style.
All right, so you mentioned a couple of styles in attachment, and one of them is relationship.
Yes.
How would you recognize if it's a relationship attachment or it's a childhood or a child attached, for example, to his caregiver?
So we've got 4 main types of attachment, and what's good about attachment that even if you went to neuroscience, if you went to biology, they're all going to agree about the attachment styles. So you've got this secure attachment who they seem to be balanced. They understand, like the situation I was just telling you about, the experiment, the stranger situation task. You would see that the toddler, when their parents leaves the room, they would show some distress. However, when the parent comes, they would show some distress. However, they're going to gain their trust. But when we see the other types of like toddlers or children in that age, some of them we would see that more clingy, and even before that caregiver leaves, and after they leave, they're still clingy and, you know, hugging and all of that. And you've got the third type, which is an amazing one, which is the avoidance. The avoidant type, you would see them.
They avoid other people, for example?
They try to avoid, like we see it later on as well, like they're trying to avoid any emotional attachment and dismiss their emotions. I think we all like saw this type too. And this mainly with men, like this is why like many women struggle in their marriage. They say like they're emotionally detached and they're different and they don't share. And you've got the fourth one, which is the least amount, which is called disorganized. It's called disorganized because it combines both anxious and avoidance. So they don't have a pattern. Sometimes you would see them clingy, they want reassurance, sometimes they're going to distance themselves. So, and you would see it in children, they're going to hug their parents, however, they're not going to like look eye to them.
All right, so Dr. Ahmad Albannay, if somebody has, for example, is being anxious and he wants to really avoid somebody, how would you approach him and how would you fix this issue that he has? It's either a child or an adult. I see it mostly in adults, as you said, because some men, as you said, they kind of avoid relationships, and why? And how would you advise our dear viewers if they have something like this?
So it's mostly regarding the types of their relationships in their life. Many people did not have like an emotional or stable relationship all of their life, so their mindset, especially as men, that people don't want us. And what's fascinating, that people with, let's say, avoidance, so they're going to avoid, let's say, situations or getting near people, because in their mindset that people will give up on them and would leave them alone. So that would be a self-fulfilling prophecy, because the more you avoid people, the more people are going to avoid you.
Albannay, you said, or you highlighted that this is mostly in men, but I see also women can have this issue, as like, you know.
Of course, it's a percentage rate. However, new studies suggest that it's shifting, so more men becoming anxious and more women.
What about the runaway bride?
What is it?
If a bride, for example, she has a wedding and then she runs away, is this part of the attachment?
It could be, yeah. You could understand it. You could as well understand in social anxious. So social anxious people would avoid like those situations.
Yes, all right. What about that, dear viewers? We have Ahmad Albannay here, a psychologist, explaining to you all kinds of attachments so you can have a better relationship, maybe with your family or any friendships that you have. And so how does attachment really affect relationships, especially in marriage and friendship, or even in parenting the children?
So let's have a situation in mind. Let's say someone texted someone, and this person does not respond in, let's say, in an hour. The anxious type would think that this person don't love me, is going to leave me eventually. The avoidant would think that this person is trying to distance themselves, so I need to cut them off. So they've got this idea in their mind. The secure one would say they might be busy. So it comes to the situation in their mind. And of course, we gotta distinguish between reaction and response. Reaction is when you react based on your emotions. Response is when you respond to the other person's action.
All right, and doctor, do you see this happening really a lot in our social society here, or is it just in general? And should people just fight their thoughts if they, for example, think that somebody's not replying, and they get that instant thought that this person is ignoring me? Because obviously, you know, as texting has different styles of approachment, and people usually get different thoughts when texting each other.
It's not that easy. I wish if it was. This is why there's attachment-based therapy, there's feeling-focused therapy that focuses on those situations. I usually say to the people who approach me regarding their attachment, or even they don't know, so I always like tell them like to take the attachment test and see their attachment. Why we wait until we reach our 50s or 60s until we become more secure? There are like some therapy that focused on that. Journaling as well would help, because it would show you the pattern of your thoughts and what are some alternative ways to think.
All right. What about that, dear viewers? Some really beautiful advice here from Ahmad Albannay, so you can have a lovely weekend with good thoughts for sure. So, Ahmad Albannay, I would love to ask you also, like, can attachment, if somebody has an attachment and he goes and seeks therapy, is it really helping them?
From a personal experience, yes. So
Perfect.
I saw some people who were super, like when I say super anxious, and after going to therapy and after having a secure relationships, I saw them in matter of a year. They became more secure. I would see their when they analyze a situation, when they analyze someone's response, instead of this person does not want me, this person is gonna leave me. No, they say, oh, this person's going through something.
Yes, that's really good insights and experience from you, Ahmad Albannay, for us and our dear viewers for sure. I'm sure they benefited a lot. So I'd love to thank you so much for coming here on Good Morning Kuwait and explaining all kinds of advices about psychology and attachments for us and our dear viewers. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So therefore, dear viewers, we'd all like to thank the coming of our guest, psychologist Ahmad Albannay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And therefore, dear viewers, we shall take a quick break and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.